I'm now joined by Darren and Angela D'Souza. They're the owners of Avalon Music Academy here in Brantford. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Patti.
Now, certainly for you, things have changed in terms of how you can offer your services to your students. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, it took everybody, that's no surprise, it took everybody by surprise how this started. I just remember I was at our Paris location the Thursday before March break, and that's when the announcement came down that the public schools were going to close for 2 weeks after March break. And I, right then and there, as soon as I walked in the studio, I had parents and people just asking me right away, "What are you guys going to do?" And it's like, well, give me a minute to absorb this. I just heard the news like 2 seconds ago, right? So the plan was and then someone brought up online right then and there, and I didn't give it much thought. But at that point, things were changing so quickly that by the time we were halfway through or partway through March break, we realized, something, we're going to have to flip this all to online. So we just basically came up with a plan, brainstormed, Angela, myself.
Sabrina Reed-Smith,
yes.
Amazing manager.
Yeah, Sabrina is our teacher coordinator manager. She helps us out with anything that we do show-wise and anything else. So she jumped on it right away. She's the one who...
She basically put it together. We went from saying, okay, I think we're going to stay open through this whole thing. I think it'll be pretty easy for us to stay open, to people saying, you know what, we're not going to come to the studio anymore. And we thought, okay, you know what, we're going to lose all our students if we don't do something. And so we basically took an afternoon with Sabrina and sat down and figured out an online platform, that being Zoom, of course, for our lessons. And it's been pretty well received so far. So yeah, we're happy about that.
Yeah, it's a transition. You might think, I think the perception was if all our teachers are at home, oh, it must be easy for your guys. It's actually, it's not. It's you're engaging with younger kids at some point. We have all ages. I have a lot of adults that love it because they can sit there and have their glass of wine and have their guitar lesson. It's just they think it's awesome. But others, it's about focus. If you didn't have focus with them in the studio, you really have to have focus now. And some of it, it's better actually in a lot of ways for a lot of students because maybe it's because they're forced to practice now because there's nothing else to do.
That could be a big part of it.
Part of it, yeah. I see someone, wow, this guy's improved so much. It's like, well, I don't have anything else to do here. It's like, I just think now, right?
Now,
but yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
You have how many locations? So you still have physical locations that are closed right now that you're still paying rent on.
That's right.
So as a small business, as a family-owned business, how do you manage that? How are you managing?
It's difficult because we didn't actually qualify for any of the government relief programs. As a small business with contract workers as opposed to employees, that took us off the list for most of the programs. We don't qualify for rent relief, but it's not because our landlords didn't try. They did. They were very willing to work with us, but their mortgage didn't qualify for us to have rent relief. So we still have to pay rent on our main unit. Our other 2 units are in churches, so those are closed, which is fine. But we still have expenses related to those as well. So it has been very, very challenging. And when we're on less than half of our regular revenue stream, it does become a huge challenge. And I think that's why we're seeing, sadly, a lot of local small businesses announcing that they're not going to be able to open their doors when this is over. And I find that really, really, really sad because I think, especially in a town like Brantford, some of these small businesses have been kind of a backbone of the community. And I really find it very, very sad when I see that they're not going to be able to be there for the public that they have loved so much over the years. And that's a thing that sometimes I think people don't realize, how attached we get to the community and our customers and our students in our case, and how much we actually do love them. They become like a family, you know, like we consider it our Avalon family, and it's become quite large over the years. And I miss them. I want to be able to be back for everybody when this is over. And actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to speak to this or not, but when this is over, I would like to have a really large fundraiser that for our business and any other small business in Brantford and Brant County, where we provide entertainment. People can sell their products. We'd have an admission fee that would go all to supporting small businesses and enabling people to keep their doors open when this is all over, because I really don't want to lose any more. It's sad that we're losing so many already.
When we're allowed to.
Obviously.
When we're allowed to. And nobody knows when that's going to be. And I know, I can't imagine the struggle for many small businesses. And there really does seem, and I've heard from you as well as other people, that there's just a pocket of small business owners that have been left out of everything from provincial to federal.
Yeah.
Do you see there any way, and this is one way in sharing your story and sharing stories of other small business owners, do you think that maybe they'll reconsider? This doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. They think we're flattening the curve, but then today we had a spike of nearly 500 cases in Ontario again. So how do you think that there could be pressure maybe put to some of our government to maybe reconsider the impact, because small businesses contribute so much to our economy?
For sure. And I think they seem to be very open to changing things. Like, for instance, the rent, even though our landlords do not qualify, there is hope that they will qualify down the road when they change certain stipulations. But yeah, it's just a tough thing that we're kind of at the bottom of the rung basically. And then you know, big shout out to just musicians that are out there who,
oh yeah,
I know so many and touring musicians that are just at home now, and that's it. Like there's no income. I mean, that's done for them.
And you probably know, as musicians yourself, the first person when there's a fundraiser to call upon is an artist, and they're being asked to give their product, their time, away for free to be able to fundraise quite often. So
most of the time. So that's another reason that I don't think that any small business should feel even slightly awkward about starting a GoFundMe campaign to keep their doors open. I've done it. I plan to share anything I raise with other local small businesses. This is not just for us. This is, again, because I feel so strongly about keeping small business in our community. I mean, we can't let it go away in a town like Brantford. Think about it. How many small businesses do you frequent? Not you, but I mean you, larger you, on a pretty much daily basis. Think about it. I mean, a town like this we need our small business. We're going to lose that small community family feel that we have around here. And I mean, there are small businesses where there's absolute generations of kids who've been raised on this small business. And I was actually hoping to be one of those. And I really hope that we'll be able to keep going when this is over. I'm a pretty confident person about things like this, but I do worry about it, and I feel so much for the businesses who have already announced that they're not going to be able to keep their doors open. It's very, very sad.
And the arts are so important in developing a whole child. I mean, education's one part of it, sports might be another, but music and arts, it's so valuable. And in Brantford, we have all these theater groups and all these local musicians. We're rich with that here. So,
absolutely.
You know, certainly, how can people help? Because I know that you mentioned you have a GoFundMe campaign. Maybe give us some more details about how somebody can go about showing their support.
Okay, first of all, if you don't have anything to contribute, which I understand that many people do not right now, sharing the GoFundMe campaign, which is on Facebook, on Avalon Music Academy of Brantford's Facebook. You could share that campaign just in case there's anybody out there who would like to contribute. Like I say on the site, no contribution is too small. If you can spare $1, it is going to go to help us or some other small business that needs help keeping their doors open right now. This is not begging. This is not asking for personal money. We can cover our personal expenses, no problem at all. But our small business has a lot of expenses associated with it. I mean, our unit being the biggest one that we haven't been able to use since the beginning of March, and rent on a commercial unit is huge. I don't know if people realize how expensive it actually is. And there's utilities and there's insurance and there are all kinds of government remittances and things that people don't think about that actually do not go away just because our revenue stream has been cut in about 1/3. So we have to figure out a way to still be able to cover that because we do want to keep our unit. So I think that's really important. And I think if people can donate, first of all, I want them to understand they are not donating to us personally. This is not, I'm not trying to raise money for myself. This is for our business, and this is to be shared with as much money as we can raise. It's going to be shared with as many small businesses as we can possibly help in Brantford and Brant County. And we would absolutely love to be able to do that for businesses.
And the dance companies have done great jobs. They're doing stuff on Zoom and that too,
Oh,
which is
definitely.
amazing.
Definitely. And they're a business that are suffering too. So
we have a lot of friends in that business too.
Right.
They're really happy.
Well,
Yeah.
I love this idea, and I love what you do for families here locally. I've had the opportunity to work with you. We do Christmas specials. I think what we've done them
yes,
for 3
we
years
love it.
now, and I see how much your students love you and your teachers and how close you are as families. And I hope that soon enough everybody will be able to resume getting together again and celebrating through music. And in the meantime, are you accepting any new students? If there's somebody that wants to take up learning how to play guitar or piano or drums, I know you guys offer quite a few different things. Is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
For sure.
We haven't signed up tons of new students, but there've been a couple of new people who've come on board to do some online learning, mostly adults who are not comfortable coming to a studio. So it's a really good idea for people right now, especially when they don't have a lot of other things occupying their time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it is a good time. It's a very good time to take up an instrument.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll put the details up on the screen and when we share this as well for people to get in contact to you. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll be able to see each other again in person sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Patti.
Thanks a lot, Patti.